Welcome into MIAA Saturday. I'm Calvin Silvers.
And I'm Harry Loomis.
As we creep toward the final few weeks of the MIAA regular season, several teams are fighting for spots towards the top of the conference, and the competition is heating up. Last week, we saw 3 games decided by 7 points or less, and we start with Central Missouri and Emporia State.
Up 14-7 in the second quarter, the Mules decide to keep Logan Tweehouse and company on the field on 4th and 7, which was a smart decision. Tweehouse drops back, sits in a beautiful pocket, and launches a 41-yard bomb to Jared Buback, who does the rest on his own and puts the Mules up 21-7. Down by 2 touchdowns with less than 5 minutes in the contest, the Hornets needed a breath of life, and they got just that from quarterback Braden Gleason. Gleason is quickly flushed out of the pocket, but it doesn't matter as he gets shifty past a Mules defender and walks the rest of the way into the end zone. However, it wouldn't be enough, and Central Missouri wins this one 45-38.
Northwest Missouri hosting Pittsburgh State. It's Max Sexton finding tight end Kaiser Newell. He shakes off the defender and strolls it in to make it 7-0. The Gorillas held on to the lead up until late in the fourth quarter. Mike Cohensee rolls right, hits Caden Davis, and he dives and just breaks the pylon. Bearcats, better late than never. They remain undefeated, edging the Gorillas 20-19.
Switching over to Fort Hays State and Washburn, this game was a true nail-biter. Instead of trying to win the game, the Tigers sent out Fernando Avila Castro, who kicks a 31-yard field goal right down the middle to send the game into overtime. A touchdown wins the game for the Ichabod's, and that's exactly what quarterback Mitch Schroeg was thinking on third down. He lobs a 19-yard pass to James Letcher Jr., who scoops it off the ground. Go ahead and do your dance, James.
Homecoming for Nebraska Carnies, they host Missouri Western. Third quarter here, that is Reagan Jones. He steps back, finds the seam, and takes off. Nobody's going to get him. That's his first career touchdown, and it makes it 14-7. Early fourth now, TJ Davis fakes a handoff and throws a bomb downfield to Michael Koch. He makes the grab and has a clear path for 6 points. Huge day for Davis and the Lopers offense as they take it 35-14.
We end last week's highlights with Missouri Southern taking on Lincoln. Blue Tigers quarterback Zamar Blake was trying to bring his team back into the game, down 31-6. The pocket collapses quickly, forcing Blake to slip through a tiny hole, reaching out and gifting the Blue Tigers another 6 points. It was all Missouri Southern the rest of the way. The Lions quarterback Dawson Hurl gives a pump fake to keep the defense on their toes, then slings the ball down the Blue Tigers' 35-yard line, where Brian Boyd Jr. did the rest with his feet and finishes the 17-yard touchdown pass, helping the Lions win big 52-32.
Lots of great football being played. Let's see where everyone sits through week 6. Northwest remains atop the leaderboard with Nebraska Kearney right there as well. Pitt State and Washburn sit 4-2. And there's a logjam in the middle with Emporia State, Fort Hays, and Central Oklahoma all at 500, while Missouri Western, Northeastern, Missouri Southern, and Central Missouri are all 2-4, and Lincoln rounds things out.
3 athletes stood out to us around the MIAA in Week 6, and we begin with the Mammoth Turf Defensive Player of the Week. This week's recipient is Northwest Missouri State's defensive end, Sam Roberts. Roberts tallied 7 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a quarterback sack as he helped Northwest Missouri score a come-from-behind 20-19 win at home over Pittsburgh State. The Mammoth Turf Special Teams Player of the Week goes to Lopers starting safety and punt returner Blake Buback. Buback forced Missouri Western star punt returner Trey Vavell to fumble early in the second half. Nebraska Kearney recovered the ball near midfield and scored a touchdown a few plays later to make it 14-0. Buback also fair caught 6 punts, many in traffic, and had 1 special teams tackle.
The Mammoth Turf Offensive Player of the Week is Nebraska Kearney quarterback TJ Davis. Have a year, Mr. Davis. This is his 3rd time grabbing Offensive Player of the Week. Davis was incredibly efficient with his arm against Missouri Western with 3 touchdown passes. He also added 1 on foot, all part of a 257-yard day. I actually had the chance to talk with Davis earlier this week.
Honestly, what it means to me, I say this is, for me, get Player of the Week. It's a big accomplishment, not only to me, but to my teammates. They're saying that our culture, we're doing something right. And we want to make a statement that, like, we're not the same Loper team as people portrayed us as. Each week in and week out, we're steady growing as a team. And I like to give a lot of credit to my teammates because without them, a lot of things I'm able to do would not be possible. And I just hold a chip on my shoulder and play with a chip just because I know my teammates got my back when I'm playing and allow me to make plays, and they see me as a leader. And as a leader, that's one thing I pride myself on is making plays and put myself in the right position for my teammates to win the game. And that's what we've been doing lately, and we're just trying to keep it rolling.
So obviously it is a big accomplishment, like you said, MIAA, both for yourself and for the team. But obviously news like this, it breaks. It's on Twitter. It's on the MIAA website. It's on the Lopers website. What's the reaction like from, be it friends, teammates, coaches, professors, any family, anything like that when it gets announced that you receive this honor?
It's a lot of spotlight, a lot of exposure. As we know now, a lot of stuff is ran through technology and all social media. So I definitely get a lot of compliments from people just reaching out to me, telling me how good of a job I'm doing. But honestly, I appreciate all of it. But at the same time, I kind of see past it just because I know like I still haven't accomplished anything yet. Like within what we trying to do as a team is obviously we trying to get to the playoffs and ultimately reach a national championships, and that's what we pride ourselves on. But it's definitely been a great experience right now, having people reach out to me, telling us how good of a job we're doing, and we're just making people proud around us.
Right, and it was homecoming week last week for Nebraska Kearney. Over, I think it was 4,400 people in attendance for that win against Missouri Western. How special is it to have such a big performance like that on such an important weekend for your school like that?
I think it fueled the fire for us. Coming off that win that loss to Fort Hayes, it kind of made everybody sit back and realize maybe we needed this to set in reality. But we definitely knew we had to play with a chip on our shoulder and knew we had to come out and play ball because everybody in MIAA is good. And that's really what made us come out with a fire and flame on top of our head to just play together. And when we play together, we play at a high intensity level. We feel like we could accomplish a lot. But as far as homecoming, we knew we had a lot of alumni, a lot of people coming out, especially since it was homecoming. There's a lot of distractions around us. But regardless, we made sure that we had one thing that we was gonna focus on, and that was Missouri Western. And then we got the win, so that was a good thing for us. And I think we still haven't played our best ball yet, especially as an offense and offensive wise. We still got some tweaks here and there, but I still don't think we played our best football game yet, and we're just trying to keep improving on that.
Well, that's pretty high praise to say that you still haven't reached your best because your team sits at 5-1. You're averaging over 32 points a game. Just even not playing, you say, your best football of the year. How much pride do you take, both personally and as the quarterback for such a high-powered offense, how successful you guys have been so far?
I take a lot of pride in that. Honestly, everything starts with making calls at the front line, making sure I'm getting that communicated with guys. Sometimes it could be pressuring, but a lot of people don't really see that. As a guy that's taking the try, I take a lot of pride in that just because I'm in charge of the offense, like people say. I'm in charge of leading them the right way. And if I'm not doing my job, we won't be successful. So that's one thing I take pride in. Make sure I'm watching film, make sure I'm prepared and knowing what's going to happen week in and week out, especially with the opponent we're playing, because especially a lot of people in our conference run different type of defenses. We get a lot of different looks, especially because we're a totally different offense from everybody in the league. So that's one thing I got to make sure that I'm prepared week in and week out and just make sure I put my teammates in the right position to make plays.
So you were both successful with the run last week, but you also had 9 completions for 160 yards. So you were really doing it all this last week. How crucial is that going to be to repeat that again against an Emporia State team that has limited teams to under 100 rushing yards a game?
I think it's very crucial. I think we got to keep. We have done a good job of keeping teams honest. That's one thing that we haven't done in the past. People know us as a run first team. It's not a secret. We pride ourselves in executing our run game, and that's what we do. We're a blue collar football team. We want to run the ball down people's throat and make them feel us as we do this. But also, like you said, we've been passing a little bit. We got to keep them honest on their heels just in case they start loading the box on us, so we can hit them with some play actions. Just keep them honest so you can't fit people in. You can't have people just fitting in a run and not having anything to support that and back that up. But I give the credit to all the guys that come in to put the work in, our offensive coordinator, our coaches, everybody. It's a team effort. One thing I can say, though, we have been passing the ball pretty well this year, and we're trying to keep that going.
Well, it's been fun to watch. You guys are off to a great start this season. That high-powered offense has been a lot of fun to watch. So we'll be watching this Saturday. Best of luck at Emporia State.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Go Lopers.
Now let's look at the action happening around the MIAA today.
Lincoln takes on Pittsburgh State in the Jungle. Northwest Missouri travels to Topeka, Kansas to face the Ichabods. Nebraska Kearney looks to continue their special season in Emporia, Kansas against Emporia State. The Mules look to make it 3 straight wins this weekend when they battle Missouri Southern. Central Oklahoma prepares for Fort Hays State, and Northeastern State will set up in St. Joseph against the Griffins. Speaking of the Northeastern Missouri Western homecoming matchup, I had the pleasure of sitting down with Griffins head coach Matt Williamson as he discussed his team's performance in the previous 2 games and the game ahead today. I'm here with Matt Williamson, coach of Missouri Western. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, doing really good. Can't complain at all.
No, I can't complain at all. That's right. What a beautiful day and what a beautiful weekend we have. But before we look at the weekend ahead, I want to talk about the past 2 games. Actually, you guys had to face 2 top 25 opponents back-to-back weeks, and number 2, Northwest Missouri, and then 22, Nebraska Kearney. And although those games didn't necessarily go the way you probably pictured, what did you see from your group of guys that was promising against such tough opponents?
Obviously, playing against Northwest Missouri, a very talented football team, knew that going into the game, always are. Coach Wright and his staff does a really good job. We came out in the game, played a little flat early. I thought we did some decent things defensively against their running back. He's super, super talented, one of the better ones I've seen in a long time in this league and some other places too. And their defense just kind of got after us up front in the interior part of our offensive line. And they got some talented defensive linemen there, and they kind of got after us. Didn't give us an opportunity to move the ball very well. Had some couple good things happen, but we couldn't sustain drives and continue to move down the field and put points on the board. And then defensively, I thought we did okay. Obviously in the run game, slowing them down a little bit in that first half. But obviously we gave up a couple big plays. I think, one of the play action tight end down the middle. And then I think it was a slant and go. I think was the other one. No, it was a post. But we ended up, normal plays we should be able to handle every single day. Unfortunately, we're undisciplined and didn't make the plays. Second week, I'd say, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, the second week with Kearney, another very talented team. They kind of take the ball out of your hands, because they run the ball so much, and it's the option. It's not a true triple option. It's more of a zone read option and the speed option stuff with that quarterback. And he's one of the other talented kids on our team, on their team, and obviously in the conference too. And I felt we did really well against him. I mean, he was averaging 180 or something yards rushing a game. We held him to 80 yards total. And again, we had 2 or 3 plays, had a double reverse flea flicker that we gave up a touchdown on, and just some discipline things on the back end. We're giving some big pass plays up. Offensively, very stagnant. Didn't do very good. I thought their defense was good. I don't think it's as good as Northwest Missouri's defense, but I thought it was good. And, we didn't play well against them either. So we've got some things we've been working on, and we're not worried about it at all. We've shown some awesome signs of greatness on offense and defensive side. Just haven't put a full game together yet, but that's what we're planning on doing in the future.
And I was going to say, you guys have showed promises here and there. And the good thing about it is you still got 5 games left of the season, and you guys have been practicing every week. So hopefully that comes together. And like I said, these next 5 games can be good for you. And speaking of the next 5 games, next up is Northeastern, and you got a chance of playing this weekend. What has been the message to the team this week as you guys look to get back in the win column?
We try not to approach any game different. I mean, any team that walks into our stadium or where we walk into, we have to execute, and we have to be disciplined, and we have to, and we've got to outplay them. Obviously, effort and fundamentals and physicalness, and those things. There are a lot of things, the key words that we use. We don't try to change too many things at all. We just make corrections. We know I've got a really good football team. But the discipline part of it on just with our eyes and different things at certain times. And then I think we've gotten, last couple of weeks, like I said, kind of got out physical a little bit on the front line with our offensive line a little bit, but we challenge those guys and just, it's a new game. You got to throw everything away after the game's over, man, and just kind of move on. Otherwise you'll drag yourself through the mud for the rest of the season, and I don't want to have a bad performance because of the prior week. I mean, the only thing is we always try to get better and try to step our game up every single week.
I like that message. That is a great message. You don't want to get stuck in that mud. So just continuing and looking ahead and not trying to change too much. I like that kind of message there. And speaking of this, the Griffins and the Riverhawks, they come into this matchup with the same record. So what makes the Riverhawks a tough opponent for you guys on homecoming?
No, it's great. We're going to be back home in Spratt. Love playing there. And our fan base and everything's great, in St. Joe. So our kids get really excited about playing home, though. We have a little bit of a home field advantage. the Riverhawks, they do a good job. That staff does a great job too. I mean, they're massively improved, I believe, 100% from from the prior years and everything. I think they do a good job coaching. I think their quarterback is talented. He can make some really, really precise throws. And we're going to have to be able to defend the pass quite a bit. And they're just, some tough nosed kids that just want to come out and play and try to compete just like we do every single week. And it's going to be a situation of who makes the least amount of mistakes. And then obviously turnovers is huge. You create as many turnovers as you possibly can on the defensively side. I think that, we'd have an advantage there a little bit. And then just being able to protect the ball. We made a couple, last week we made a couple of poor decisions, a couple of turnovers, one on special teams and one late in the game with throwing the ball. And those things, changed the game dramatically. And so as long as we filter that and talk with our kids about that tremendously, and it's very important. And if we continue to do that, we'll have success, but it'll be a challenge. Every game you play in that MIAA, if you don't show up or if you don't show up a little bit, it's over. So you gotta be ready to rock and roll right from the get-go.
Yeah, there's a lot of great teams in the MIAA. No week is easy, so it's always grinding out for a win. And it's just kind of funny that you mentioned that, Northeastern has a great quarterback too. It just seems like you guys have been playing great quarterback after great quarterback. It's just kind of crazy the depth at quarterback that we have in the league here. And you kind of mentioned it earlier, and if you can go more in depth, that'd be great. But you were just talking about the fans and being at Spratt Stadium and how great that is. And this weekend it's homecoming. So what can we expect the atmosphere to be like around the stadium, inside the stadium, and just the game day atmosphere?
I think since I've gotten here, I think just, our attendance has gone up great. We've had a lot of more support. We get out and engage with our community as much as we can. I didn't think that had happened a whole bunch in the past, and we're getting results of it. I think we're, in 2019, I think we're in the top 15 in the country for overall attendance in Division II football. So that's, and obviously continuing to win, and that helps as well. But, our tailgating out front, we've created a good environment. Our athletic administration and our president has put a good presentation out there. And so our tailgating is probably, quadrupled since I've been here. And just the excitement and being part of this game. And homecoming is always big, anywhere you're at, so we'll have a good crowd, and it'll be a real fun time.
Yeah, it's just a lot of great things going for Missouri Western and St. Joseph right now, and just the atmosphere and the fans. It's great to see that, and it's great to know that you guys have a good backing from the fans. This is a streak that has spanned over several games, but you guys carry an impressive win streak against Northeastern in this game. Why have you guys been able to be on the upper hand in these past 10 or so matchups?
I've obviously only been here for about 5 years or so, and they had a head coaching change there, and there's some transition and turnover and everything. And there was some talent on our team. We brought some good kids in early, and I just think, where we're at right now, I think our culture and all the things that we've got set is in place of where I want it. And we've been able to compete, and you see some of that in some of our games, this year, we've been down on a couple and come back, tremendously and win at the end. Our kids will never quit. They'll fight all the way to the end. You'll never know if it's the first play of the game and the last play of the game, if we're up or we're down. We play the exact same way, always trying to choke our opponent out and trying to win and take that win as much as we can. And so we travel really well. We've been really pretty productive, over the times that I've been here on the road. I think one time we were like 13-0 or something on the road. And so we travel well. Our kids to go down there, know it's a business trip. And so just between that's a long trip. It takes a lot out of you. It's a little bit different when you go down there, but they're coming up to our place. And it's just something, that we got to win, and I don't know if there's a certain specific reason why we've had success against them or not. It's just, I think on those days that we played them, I think we just played better than them, and we'd out physical them or out efforted them. So as long as we continue to do that, I think in any team that we play, we have a legit chance of winning a football game.
Yeah, and it's great to know that your kids will fight till the very end, up, down, no matter what, that those kids are going to give it their all. So that's great to have that as a team. As we have a little less than about 5 games, a little less than half the regular season left, what have you learned about your team so far?
Yeah, I think just kind of what we addressed a little bit before. Youth-wise, I'm not saying I'm not going to use the word youth. I don't want to use that. I want to say inexperience. I guess we've got, because you have the COVID year and just different things like that. I mean, this year we're not losing one player on offense, and then next year we'll only lose one. So if you look at that, I mean, and we've had some success. We had like 500 something yards against Washburn, and it's all there. The pieces are there. We just can't put it together continually. And that's my job as a head football coach, to figure out the pieces of puzzle, make that connect. So it's weekly instead of, okay, one good week, one bad week. So that's some of the stuff, that I'm looking into now that we're going to continue to work on. And I know I just kind of jumped in a different category for you right there, but that's just kind of where I'm at and where we're at as a football team. And I think there's a solid nucleus here of great people, great students, great football player, great human beings, and we're going to continue to grow and get better every single week.
And like I said, you kind of, I mean, I'm glad you went into it. Just that the inexperience per se is something that you guys really want to focus on. And my last question was for you, and if you don't have anything else, that's all right. But what do you want your team to improve on or focus on these last 5 games?
I just, I'd say the number one thing is kind of bit us in the tail of it is probably just some discipline part of it. And that's just, it's either your eyes, you're supposed to look at the safety, but I'm looking in the backfield to kind of see what's going on, or I'm in my gap. I'm supposed to hold my gap and I start peeking and over the top of the shoulder, looking other places. And some of those instances have hurt us this year for sure. And that's probably the main emphasis that we're going to put on for the next 5 games, because we feel 100% if we solidify the discipline part of it, our eyes are where we're supposed to be. I know we've got really good football players and athletes that we can put ourselves in a position to win every football game. And that's probably the main focus. I would say that's where we're at, and that's what we're striving and pushing for right now.
And I'm going to say big things for Missouri Western, not only the rest of the season, but as you said, only losing one next year in next season. A lot of great things coming for you guys. Coach, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
Thanks for all your time. I appreciate what you do.
Yep. Have a good weekend and good luck.
Absolutely. Go Griffs.
I'm very excited to see Central Oklahoma and Fort Hays face off. These are 2 teams that overcame slow starts of the season to currently sit 3-3. This is going to be a big test for both teams.
The 2 teams are about equal on the ground, and the Broncos are fresh off of allowing just 39 rushing yards to Northeastern. For the Tigers, this will be their first home game since they outdueled a very good Nebraska Kearney team on homecoming. In fact, Fort Hays has actually been really good in their 3 home games this season. They've averaged 312 passing yards and 188 rushing yards in those games against Northwest, Lincoln, and Nebraska Kearney respectively.
My eyes will be glued to the Northeastern State versus Missouri Western game, as the 2 teams come into this matchup with identical records of 2-4.
The key for Missouri Western will be staying disciplined for 4 straight quarters. The Griffins have found themselves on the losing end of games due to the amount of turnovers. This game will be a true test, as Northeastern is one of 3 teams nationally that have not lost a fumble this season and are ranked first in kick return defense. The key for Northeastern State will be to continue playing on the road Riverhawk football. The Riverhawks have not won a game at home this season and have won both games on the road. Whatever the Riverhawks are doing when playing on the road, they need to keep doing it. A road win would push the streak to 3 straight. The end of the 2011 season is the last time the Riverhawks won 3 consecutive on the road.
And now it's time for this week's Sponsor Spotlight. This week, I had the honor to talk to Kyle Kennedy from McCall-Gordon. So I'm here with Kyle Kennedy from McCall-Gordon. Kyle, how are you doing?
Great. Yeah. Just
Awesome.
enjoying the fall weather. How about you?
You know what? I'm enjoying the fall weather as well, and especially for football and whatnot. It's great to be out and watching some MIAA action and with the fall weather. So it's been great.
Absolutely.
We have some questions for you, so let's dive right in it. Can you talk about why McCall-Gordon feels a partnership with the MIAA is really an advantage?
Yeah, for sure. So our ongoing partnership, we've been involved for a few years now. And I feel like in just the past year and a half, we've really begun to engage with the MIAA even more on a deeper level. And it's been awesome. We've always recognized that our investment helps the MIAA be successful and help create a strong conference. So, our number one goal is to be able to make an impact on student athletes. And so I think we've really been able to do that through our sponsorship. And we've gotten to meet and mingle with the conference presidents, athletic directors, student athletes, and the leadership of the MIAA, and it's all been awesome. We've been hosting the president's kind of roundtable president's council here at our office the past few years, so we're happy to be able to provide a space in Kansas City for everyone to get together. And we hosted a tailgate at the UCM Pitt State football game earlier this year, and then we had a reception for the MIAA award ceremony in Kansas City as well. So, it's just a variety of ways we've been able to engage, and this partnership has been fantastic.
It really does sound like it has been fantastic. It's nice to know that you guys can go around all the MIAA and, participate in pre-games and meet players and coaches and commissioners and all that. That's awesome. That is very cool. And as your company has grown, and it's grown a lot, especially as of late, how have you prioritized the education sector of the business, and where do you see this continuing to grow?
Yeah, good question. Education projects have really been a part of the foundation of McCown Gordon since the beginning, and we're about 22 years old. So higher education specifically has been a focus of ours. And, I think even we're trying to invest in, we recognize that higher education is an investment in the future of our company. You're investing in people that will soon, work for you in the pipeline. And then, so really it's the significance of these universities and in our region and the ultimate impact it has in our whole economy. So, and I think, through the pandemic, we were kind of all watching, waiting, what's going to happen to higher education and the physical campus. Do we still need buildings, or is everything going to go virtual? And it's proved itself, I think, that, students still want that sense of community. They want to interact with their professors and the faculty. And then obviously for student athletes, it's even more important to be in person. They can't do their thing without it. So we're seeing trends in terms of, investing in student recruitment and retention and well-being. That's what a lot of schools are recognizing are important these days. And then on top of that, athletics, and, that's not going anywhere. So good to see all that.
It is good to see that. And just as a student myself, I would agree that just being face-to-face with my professors helps me learn better. And I think we can all agree that education is very important in today's world and something that we need to continue growing on. So it just sounds like you guys are doing a lot of great things in that sector as well. And you guys are the presenting sponsor of the MIAA Commissioner's Cup. And that's a pretty high honor. So what does it mean for your company to be associated with one of the highest honors the conference can present?
Yeah, the Commissioner's Cup is a lot of fun. I think just kind of the hype and energy around the award and the interconference competition is just awesome. And, this past year we got to present UCM with the Commissioner's Cup on the halftime of the opening game of football season. So that was awesome to be surrounded by the student athletes and see how excited they were. And I myself was a student athlete, so I think you feel like it is kind of part of this special exclusive club, if you will, that just there's a lot of energy and excitement in all these student athletes who've put so much hard work in to kind of see the results of that and across sports is just really exciting and unique. So we love our involvement with the Commissioner's Cup and look forward to continuing to support that.
Yeah, that's awesome that you can recognize the hard work that these student athletes are putting in. And it's awesome that you guys are a part of that and can, your company is, like I said, associated with something of such a high honor and that these kids are going to remember for the rest of their lives. And you threw out there that you're a student athlete, that you were a student athlete yourself. What sport did you play?
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
I was a soccer player. So,
Okay.
Yep,
Right.
I played at a small school in North Carolina called Elon University. So,
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
My sporting, it ended in high school. Now I'm trying to get more in the broadcasting side of it, but that's awesome that you got to experience that. And then the final question I have for you today is, what are some initiatives or even projects that McCown Gordon is excited for or working on heading into 2022 and beyond?
Yeah. Well, before I forget, I just wanted to mention this kind of has to do with it, but I think it's close to 30% of our employees at McCown-Gordon graduated from MIAA schools. So that alone is just, an initiative, or, we recognize the investment of our time and energy going towards the MIAA, in turn, comes back around, and we're proud of that statistic. So, and we have ongoing projects at MIAA schools. So the UCM baseball stadium and then the Pitt State Nursing School expansion are two big projects that are ongoing or wrapping up soon. So those facility improvements, as well as we've been talking to other MIAA schools about some of their wants and needs. So, hoping for additional partnerships there. So those are exciting heading into 2022 and beyond. And then outside of the MIAA conference, we just wrapped up new facilities for football and softball at Northern State University in South Dakota. And those turned out wonderfully. They're, for D2, I think they kind of set the bar high for other D2 schools. And we look forward to, just improving our relationships with the MIAA, and know that there's a lot of opportunity out there, and we're, just continue to build the momentum we have. And outside of higher education, we do work in healthcare, K through 12 schools, civic projects, and corporate. So all of those sectors are important to us. And higher education is, like I said, we're just excited to continue our partnership with the MIAA and continue to build great projects for these great schools.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just McCown-Gordon, it covers a lot. You guys do a lot for, like you said, not only the MIAA, but other schools as well, with just facilities and stuff. And that's why I think it was so great about McCown-Gordon is, like I said, it's just not, it's not just one main focus. It's these MIAA schools, it's these other schools, it's facilities, it's this, it's that, education, whatnot. So that's awesome. And that stat that you have, what was that? 30%?
Maybe don't quote me directly, but I think it's close to 30% of our employees went to MIAA schools.
And that's awesome. Cool. That is very cool that you guys are not necessarily staying inside the MIAA, but really recognizing that the MIAA has good student athletes or just good people overall. The schools are great
talent, well equipped for the workforce. And we appreciate this ongoing partnership, and looking forward to synergy with the MIAA for years to come.
And you know what? We're excited as well on our behalf of the MIAA side, and just McCown-Gordon's doing a lot of great things. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today about McCown-Gordon and just the great things you guys are doing.
Thanks a lot, Calvin.
Yep,
Take care.
Yep, you too.
Thanks, Calvin. Sounds like McCown-Gordon is really working well with the MIAA. Let's take a look at next week's matchups.
Northwest heads to Northeastern. Central Missouri hosts Fort Hays. The Ichabods are in Central Oklahoma. Missouri Southern is at Emporia State. Lincoln heads to Kearney. And the Griffins host the Gorillas.
That will do it for MIAA Saturday. We look forward to seeing you again here next week.
Be sure to follow us across our social media platforms and catch all the MIAA action on the MIAA Network. I'm Harry Loomis.
And I'm Calvin Silvers. See you next week.